Diabetes is an autoimmune disease in which the body has attacked the pancreas. So for someone that lives with type 1 diabetes, the pancreas no longer produces insulin. For someone with type 2 diabetes, the pancreas is still producing insulin, but the body is rejecting it. Both types of diabetes are very serious and are very complicated, and both are life-threatening. I have lived with type 1 diabetes for the past 16 years. Living with diabetes requires constant monitoring of my blood sugar levels. If I wake up in the morning and my blood sugar is low, before I do anything, I have to stop and I have to drink a Gatorade or an orange juice or do something to consume sugar. If my blood sugar is high, I need to take insulin. I need to not eat anything for a while until it lowers. So every day I wear an insulin pump that gives me insulin throughout the day, every hour, and then additionally when I tell it to. I have to change it every few days. I move it around to different parts of my body, and moving it around means giving myself a shot to move a site which connects to a tube, which connects to a pump, a device, where I can program in the carbs that I'm eating and what my blood sugars are to get the proper amount of insulin through that tubing and into my body. I also use a blood sugar meter to test my blood sugar throughout the day by pricking my fingers 6 to 8 times a day on average. I have to check my blood sugar before I eat anything. I have to check my blood sugar before I get into the car, before I work out, before I go swimming, before I walk into a meeting, because who knows how long that will last and what will happen in that period of time. Basically, before I do anything, I need to check my blood sugar, because based on that blood sugar will affect what I do next. Living with diabetes is constant monitoring of what's going on inside my body, at the same time partnering that with what I have to do every day to just be a normal person. I would say that my normal day is far from normal. I think that on the outside, the average person sees me as just another person just like them, but throughout my day, I have to, in the back of my mind, be thinking, how do I feel right now? What am I going to do in the next 30 minutes, in the next hour? What time is it? Is it close to a meal time? Do I need to go check my blood sugar before I go to that next appointment? I have to be thinking about my diabetes 24/7. I can't stop, or it will stop me. I would say that when I think about my day versus someone without diabetes' day, it's kind of hard to think about what's different. I could be in the middle of a meeting and talking to someone and testing my blood sugar right there on my desk, and I'm not thinking about it. I'm not thinking about what they're thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to test my blood sugar, put it to the side, and keep going. So there's a lot of moments throughout my day that when I step back and reflect on it, they're far from normal and very different from everyone else, but that's my regular day. Every 3 months, I see my endocrinologist and sit down with my doctor, review my blood sugar levels for the past 3 months since I've seen him last. And we go through different patterns and recognize what's going on, why highs and lows in certain areas. I see my endocrinology appointments as almost like group projects. I prepare some numbers in advance, go to him with charts and graphs, and we look at them and try to figure out how to get the lows and highs to meet more in the middle at a normal range, because that's the goal. The more normal you are, the healthier you feel. But those appointments every 3 months are check-ins and making sure that both he and I are doing what we both need to do to make sure that I continue on for the next 3 months doing well. I think that there's a lot of moments of frustration in living with type 1 diabetes, having to think about things and do things that no one else has to. But that goes back to the "this is normal for me" concept. I have to do it. There's no choice. There's no "I wish I didn't have to do this," or "I wonder what it would be like," because there's no changing the fact that I have type 1 diabetes until there's a cure. The only way to do really well and to live really well is to accept diabetes as normal. I always try to use a misconception or a myth or some sort of negative comment about diabetes to educate people and to teach people and tell them what diabetes really is. Most people think that because we have insulin, a medication to treat diabetes, that we have a cure and that everything is great and everything is normal, and what more do we need to do? Well, insulin is not a cure. It is simply a life-saving tool. It is something that I have to put into my body all day long through an insulin pump. A cure for diabetes would mean that the life that people live without diabetes, that would be my life. No fear of future complications, no longer needing to take insulin, no longer needing to monitor blood sugar levels, and all the other components that you have to do every single day to live well with diabetes. I think that dancing for diabetes has been my platform or my outlet to stay positive. It's given me opportunities for 15 years to meet amazing people through production, through donations, through awareness, through all sorts of different avenues that aren't just dancing. And I get to hear a lot of stories and a lot of hope and a lot of community. Working with Dancing for Diabetes every day is something that keeps me positive and reminds me we're all working on this together, and one day there'll be something very positive that comes out of it. But every day is another opportunity to live well despite all of the very bad that diabetes comes with. Advice I would give someone that was just recently diagnosed with type 1 diabetes would be to stay positive, that this is something they can certainly manage, that it will be very challenging, it will be hard, there will be very bad days, but there will be very good days. And so just stay positive. And the more we can educate others about diabetes, the more we can do to stop diabetes. I am not going to let diabetes control me. I will be controlling my diabetes. That's the theme or the motto I like to give out to the young kids I work with a lot. You're in charge of this disease. Don't let it become in charge of you.